Hello, my ducks, and a very warm welcome back to The Library's Open, so I hope you brought your library card, my darlings. Now we've got those preliminaries out of the way. How are we? Still doing well with my resolution of using this mug from those vegan guys for all my vlogs, and it's lighting okay. It's going to have to be. It's dusky, let's call it dusky. I'm just having a cup of tea not from Bird and Blend this time, actually, my favourite brand, but well, one of my favourite brands, I should say, but this is from a new brand I've discovered called Tea and the Gang, and this is called Blueberry Blues. I saw them on Instagram, and I just thought, that's for me. So there's their little logo. I will link them down below in the comments. Don't look at how dirty that cup is. That was a bit, you know. So let me just have a sip. Oh, that's delightful. Oh, that's lovely. So yes, cup intact, and a bit of a new one today, which, because I was sort of racking my brains, because I'm constantly thinking, what can I do for my vlogs that are new and interesting content for you, and what have I not done that maybe other booktube channels do? Not that I want to copy, but it's, you know, if someone has a good idea, it seems foolish to try and reinvent the wheel, does it not? Oh, you will notice, incidentally, certainly narcissistically got my own channel in the background here. But I gotta pump up those views, Margaret. So that's how I'm going to do it. Yeah. So, I'll also forgive the fact that my face is a little bit swollen on this side. My gum is playing up at the moment. I do have some issues with gums and stuff like that sometimes. Just before there's some sort of weird freeze frame with me like this, which does happen more often than you might think, and it does nothing for my self-esteem. But yes, anyway, so we are still in January, first month of the year, obviously. And what I realised that in all my time on Booktube thus far that I've never done is an actual physical unboxing in front of your very eyes. So, you know, I buy a lot of books. The secret's out. And what I tend to do is pre-order a lot of stuff as well. And I also order a lot of stuff for work, so I end up owning them in the end, but they're not specifically necessarily bought purely for recreation, which is fine, because actually reading for my job is still reading. So although the experience is slightly different, it feels like a nice way to make a work-related thing a little bit more recreational, you know. So I thought I would do a live unboxing. I received 4 parcels today. Here's a B. Careful not to show my address, don't triangulate. And I thought I would open them live, well, recorded on air for your very selves. And yeah, that's content. So here we go. Here's the first one. I vaguely know what these ones are, I think, assuming they're what I think they are. Let's have a look. Oh yes, lovely. So, funnily enough, speaking on the work conversation, this arrived today. This is good, because normally I really open my book mail really quickly, because I'm excited, because I'm a nerd, book sniffing nerd. It's not a critique, just an observation. But I've waited all day to film this just so I could film it for you. So this is a textbook, as I say, for work called Acting Queer, Gender Dissidence and the Subversion of Realism. And this was really expensive for a book, but then sort of critical theory or textbooks tend to be anyway. And this is because, you may not know, but this year I'm doing professional development qualification in HE teaching, because I teach at university. That's my day job, if you don't know. And as part of that, I have to do a sort of extended research thing on an area of my own practice. So I think I'm going to be looking at gender performance, queerness, non-binariness, and how we can kind of tailor acting training to take those things into account. That's not quite specifically exactly what I'm going to do yet, but I do definitely need this, so I probably will make a start leafing through this this very weekend. Although it's always a lot harder, I think, with critical theory, because, you know, I don't know, the kind of experience of reading it is not like a story per se, is it? You know, that's probably a very basic thing to say, but yeah, so it's going to be a dip in, dip out book, but I do like this cover. That's lovely, isn't it? Still though, critical theory and academic books, can we pay the people who write them more and make them more readily available for people Thereby, people will engage with critical theory. Just saying. Okay, so that's that one. That's good. Let's open this one. And again, I think I know what these are because I can't think of anything else that I've ordered that it would be from this particular supplier. Yay! Yes. Now, you may have heard me say in my last video that I was getting more into fantasy this year. Well, continuing on that theme, I've picked up A Dark and Hollow Star by Ashley Shuttleworth. And I picked this up because it was recommended by Queer Lit. Well, I say recommended, it was on their Instagram stories. They'd reposted someone, and it's a kind of queer fantasy saga. I believe it's a duology. And it's about, well, I'll read the back for you, shall I? Why not, since we're here? Choose your player. The half-fey outcast, desperate for acceptance. The tempestuous, it's a great word, fury, hell-bent on revenge. The dutiful prince, determined to earn his place. And the brooding guardian, burdened by a terrible secret. Each holds the key to solving a series of murders that threaten to expose fairies to the human world, but they cannot do it alone. To track down the killer, they have to form a tenuous alliance, putting their differences and conflicts aside. Now, I'm really, really interested in this because apparently the entire cast is queer in this, whereas normally in fantasy, there's usually pretty good rep in fantasy as a general rule of thumb, but they tend to be one character or two. I've never read one thus far where they're all queer. Not that they all have to be, but I just think it's interesting. This is by, I've told you this, Ashley Shuttleworth, and that was, again, from Queer Lit's Instagram stories. They'll be linked down below. And speaking of, this is a sapphic tale of, I believe, inspired by Indian history and mysticism. This is called The Jasmine Throne by Tasha Sori. And where did I see this? I cannot remember. It could also have been Queer Lit, but it might have been somewhere else. I'm not sure. But this one is, it says, trapped by her despotic brother within the crumbling walls of an ancient temple, Princess Malini dreams of vengeance. I can dig it. Meanwhile, maidservant Priya, forced to disavow her power and her birthright because of her past, dreams of freedom. In a world beset by wild magic and turbulent uprising, their destinies will become irrevocably tangled. And that famous Disney movie, Tangled, and together they will set an empire ablaze. This is great. Loads of fantasy authors have blurbed this and said it's wonderful. And again, I think this one's a duology, as I recall. Let me just check. No, it doesn't say in the back, but I believe that it is. So looking forward to getting started on that one as well. This is the year. This is the fantasy year. Hold me accountable. Okay, last two packages. These are from Waterstones, and I got these because for Christmas I received some Waterstones gift cards. I know, it's like people know me. So, as a normal person would, I promptly spent them on the same day as I received them, because why wouldn't I? So these could be pre-orders, although I don't think some of the dates for the pre-orders have come up yet. Can I just say I love these? I love this so much. The power, or it could be just things that I wanted that I decided to use this opportunity to buy. So these are a couple of books that have been out for a while, I believe. Yes, You Let Me In by Camilla Bruce, which is, I believe, a thriller, a bit of a twisty thriller. Says, everyone knew best-selling novelist Cassandra Tripp had twice got away with murder. Ooh, even her family were convinced of her guilt. So when she disappears, leaving only a long letter behind, they suspect that her conscience finally killed her. But the letter is not what anyone expected. Why do I just keep making up these blurbs? It tells two chilling, darkly disturbing stories. One is the story of children lost to the woods, of husbands made from twigs and leaves and feathers and bone. The other is the story of a little girl who was cruelly treated and grew crooked in the shadows. But which story is true? And where is Cassie now? And that sounds wonderfully evocative. And look at that. Ribbed. It's not ribbed, is it? Textured cover for your viewing pleasure. So that's the first one. And the other one was it's a Waterstones exclusive with some gorgeous sprayed edges. I love them. Acts of Desperation by Megan Nolan, which is, the blurb simply says, she's 23 and in love with love. He's the most beautiful man she's ever seen. Their affair is quickly consuming, unpredictable. Behind his perfect looks is a cruel streak. Meanwhile, she's starting to give into secret, shameful impulses of her own. Sounds really, really interesting, and it's totally not my kind of thing normally, but I don't know why, you know, when you just can't always explain why you're drawn to something. I just was, and it was on, I went on the Waterstones website, and it was kind of just there. And I am more inclined, I will admit, to go for a special edition anyway, you know, particularly if it's got sprayed edges, because I like the visuals. And I thought, you know what, challenge yourself. There is a part of me sometimes that wants to do, like, just randomly pick a book and not even read it and just buy it and see if I like it. I know that seems like a very privileged thing to do, doesn't it? And I'm not saying we should, like, waste literature or whatever, but, you know, just for the experience. Maybe that'll be an upcoming vlog. There we go. Okay, so last one. Oh, so good. Oofed. Oofda. Ah, yes, this is one of my pre-orders. Marvellous. So I still have some outstanding, but again, I don't think they've been released yet. And this is one that was in one of my most anticipated of 2022. This is Wahala by Nikki May. Again, lovely sprayed edges there. Which is, I won't go through the plot again because I went through it in my most anticipated videos. Just click back on my channel if you want to. On my most anticipated for 2022 videos, just go back and look on there. But I believe this came out in, I think it was the 6th of January, and it has exclusive content as well, bonus recipes or something. So I'm assuming that you know, familial recipes or something like that are a big part of the story, and I just think the design is gorgeous. We have to. Good sniff. Reasonable sniff. Reasonable. Good sniff. Good sniff. Not much of a discernible sniff, ergo the winner is Wahala by Nikki May. It's the sniff test there. I'd always do that on camera, but there we go. So there we go, just a quickie one this time. My little unboxing. I feel like a real booktuber now. So I hope you enjoyed that, and let me know down below if any of those sound interesting to you, and or any random thoughts that happen to enter your head whenever you're watching this. Alright, my angels, put those library cards somewhere safe and waterproof now because it is still winter. I'm going to get on with drinking my blueberry blues. Oh, that's very good. And until the next time, I will see you. Keep sniffing those books and do look after yourselves and all the folk around you, what you love. And even the ones you don't, because they need looking after too. All right, my angels, take care. Bye-bye.